This is Donald Wade, FTT214. This is the hand checkering lab, week 2. Today's date is 6 November. Okay, so I'm going to start with, this is the checker cradle that I ended up building. Initially I wasn't going to, because I have the Master Vice by Real Avid. But it seems like we need the rotation factor for checkering. So I did end up buying a few parts to where I can make this checkering gauge. The wood was all scrap. Inside I have a it's a Rockler T-channel clamp system. The wood itself is their braces for pallets and packing, where these will go on top, and you got the metal straps that run across. And I got these because they already have a channel cut, so I can recess the hardware that as I need to. So all that's recessed, and then that channel fits down right in there. What I have on the back here is I have a hold down clamp, and then the front post that's adjustable. I've got this is a 2-inch PVC coupler cap, all thread, a rubber grommet for a little knob on both ends. These are Rockler quick stops, and they're tightened down into the channel, so both of them will move as you know, when I loosen them up. So basically what I can do is I can loosen this, and this will slide, okay, and then if I need to change length and I need to do a full length stock, I did leave it channeled all the way up except the last probably inch and a half or so. But this end will stay stationary, and like I showed, it does swivel, and I can adjust the tension, and you know, I can make the cap go in and out. This, unscrew this, loosen that up, and then I can slide this away as I need. Okay. I also have a bolt. It's a T-track bolt on the inside here, and then I've got a washer with a nut. That's just finger tight, so I can put this back into place, tighten that down, and that ain't going anywhere. It's good. It's locked in. It still swivels. I'm good to go. I've also made an attachment to where I can do 1911 grips. Okay, I still have to do a center drill, make a little hole on both ends to where the all thread bolts that I've done will, because they're sharp, they're beveled on the end to where they'll kind of sit in. So I'm going to do center drills to where those will sit in there real nice, and this will still be able to rotate. So like I said, I wasn't going to build a vise, and I ended up doing, or a checkering cradle, and I ended up doing it. And I think it turned out pretty good. So, and if I don't like it later on, I can take all the hardware off and put it on a workbench or something and be perfectly fine with it. Not a big deal. So other than that, we can get started on our lab project. Okay, here's what I have so far. This is the piece I'm going to use for this lab. I've got it on a drill press vise clamp to the workbench. I did end up building a checkering cradle, but I'll show that in a little bit. So I've got this piece sanded to 400 grit, and then I used True Oil, Birchwood Casey's True Oil. I did 2 coats, 2 thin coats, and then I sanded lightly 400 grit. Let that fully cure for a day and a half. Did another coat. That cured. Sanded again with 400 grit. Did another coat. Let it cure again. I let it go a good day between each coat. I've got 4 coats total. The last time before I applied the final coat, I went up to 600 grit, cleaned it, and then did the final coat of True Oil. And I'm left with this, you know, it's got good color. I didn't stain it. I don't have any big spots, any runs, any visible scratches or anything like that. I have a little thin spot of oil here, but I'm not too concerned with that right now. But what we're going to do is, although I did print the template and cut them out, obviously they're too big for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the checkering gauge and I'm going to do the 3:1 and do my master lines. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go as center as I can. Bring it down just a little bit. We'll do get a white and that didn't show up very well. Not a big deal. We will go with a black. Okay, so again, I'll do it as center as I can. Okay, so those are going to be my master lines. And what I'll do is I want to leave actually let me take this all the way up. We'll use a flexible okay. And then what I'll do is I'll just put tape on it just so you can see a little bit better.
If I can get this tape on.
Okay. So these are going to be used as master lines. And I think what I may end up doing is I may transfer this over, but what I'll end up having to do is drill into this. I did go ahead and add the guidelines down, and I kept them at, you know, the 3:1, and I you know, bent this down to where I can make my lines. And then I added my tape here. So we were provided 18 LPI. So looking here, we're looking at 18 lines per inch. And following those master lines, we should get pretty good. I think what I'm gonna do is I may just checker this center part and then do a diamond border, and then maybe continue checkering on the edges. If I do that, I'll run just that 90-degree cutter on the inside of this diamond, and that'll give me, you know, this much on the outside to play with. Like I said, if I need to, which what I will probably do, is I can just flip this over and I can sand and finish this side. I can also, you know, round this out a little bit and do it to where I can checker that a little bit. But at the same time, you know, I do have this is the original Marlin 336 4 end that I can do. You just find the center line, and then I can add my template, trim this down, and I can add my template on there if I needed to. It's an option. I also have the original buttstock that was shown in the cradle that I can do, and then eventually I do have the rest of the stock. So, and I still have to finish, you know, shaping and all of that. But for this last week, my focus was this piece here. And on top of that, I have this other piece. Okay, this is the mallet. This will get epoxied, and I'm going to throw some sawdust in there. That'll help. I still have to square this up. You know, it's not squared. But I did, this was a block. So this was a block. This is part of the original block that was sent by SDI. That was cut. This is a block of redwood. It was about I would say it was probably 16 inches long. And what I did was I drew up a template that I wanted, and then I cut it out on the bandsaw, and then it went from this and this is what I'm at now. And it is going to be a handle for a mallet, just for, you know, chisels, working on wood chisels and stuff like that. My son asked me for a mallet, so I was like, I'll make one. So, and I can do some checkering on here as well, and we'll see what happens. Clean this up, but we'll go from there. I may end up putting this in the jig, in the cradle itself. I don't know. We'll figure it out. This is a learning process, so we'll figure out exactly what we want to do, and we'll make it happen. Till next time, stay safe. Okay, so I want to add this real quick before I submit this assignment. I went ahead and inserted this into the cradle. I ended up not drilling. I used the PVC cap, and I added these foam, like gym foam tile puzzle pieces. I cut a couple of them up and added in there, and I center drilled the back a little bit to where it'll fit. This where the all thread is beveled, and it turns, so I can use this and run my lines and rotate it as I need. So that works out. I went ahead and mounted it all up. So, and this is in preparation for next week, I imagine, the starting of the checkering process. But again, until then, stay safe.